Greetings from Southern California. My name is Murphy Daley. I'm the socials at Written by Murphy, and I am an AV veteran, project manager, and author. And you are joining us for the AV life.
And I'm your host, the only one that's here that could claim hosting responsibilities. No Joe Way here to take it from me otherwise. Tim Van Wert coming at you from the small but powerful state of New Jersey, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life. All right, welcome back, folks. We are here for the AV Life, and this is our first edition of the AV Life Book Club. The long touted, and we are here to finally bring it around, and in proper fashion, we have brought Murphy's book
Brung.
into the fray to talk about the AV Project Manager Handbook. So we got it, we read it, we've got notes, good notes,
And I promised this would be where we discuss it. This is the first one. This is the debut.
Yes,
right
it is.
Here.
Yep.
You heard it here. I promised. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us.
Mm-hmm.
It's been years in the making.
So, and we also brought back our friend Chi Hang Lo. Chi, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, everyone?
Good, thank you. Glad to have you back, and congratulations on making it to the second round. As the folks are listening to this, we're going to keep our fingers crossed because I think we had our dates. We had our dates wrong last week, and we thought we still had time to promote you, and I think we were a little off. But you made it through the second round. Hopefully, by the time folks are listening to this, you've made it to the next round. So we're excited for you and continuing our vote for Chi hashtag to keep the ball rolling for you. So
a good team, yeah. Cross fingers.
Keep those, So we're a little small tonight, but that's okay. I mean, we could, Murphy, you know what? Before we jump into this, let's jump into like what our concept is here for the book club. We're starting off with your book, Murphy, because we've been talking about it for as long as we have been, and we are so excited it's here. Going forward, I want to leave this open to you, our listeners, and to us as the crew as well. If there is a AV book, a project management book, a leadership book, or something you think applies to and I'm just saying our vertical, I'm not talking about the higher ed vertical, I'm talking about just anybody AV or AV adjacent for our friends that are in that world, please let us know. We'll talk about it, we'll read it. I mean, don't give me like a War and Peace type book because I probably won't get through that.
Of course, we have the veto power.
Yes,
so
exactly.
We're not going to read a thesaurus or something. But yeah. This is
sorry. This
is part of the AV life. I love to read, and I do bring it up every once in a while and go word nerd on y'all as the English major that I am. We know James, who is part of the crew, loves to read too, and other people in the AV world. We are trying to get better. We are getting, we are trying to improve ourselves to expand our expertise, expand our knowledge, and this is part of why you, our listeners, come and hear our podcast anyways, because this is the AV life. We're trying to become more knowledgeable and expand, and therefore a book club seems exactly appropriate.
Right. And as our crew member and friend James King always said, always be learning. And that is what we're aiming to do. And I've name dropped you here, James. So you you gotta make sure you pass it along. And I'm sure he will. I'm not concerned.
He would love this. He'd
would love this. I'm sure in a way he's probably saddened that he's not here. I'm sure he's out on a soccer pitch
Shout out to James. He did read the book.
He did read the book.
Not being here, so maybe he wins the prize for fully having read it.
Yeah. So
even though he's not here.
Admittedly, I didn't get through the whole thing. So but for those who know me, like the fact that I got, I don't know, a half or a third through it, like this is a good start for me. So so we'll take suggestions. We'll read, we'll do our digest. You could take part in the conversation. Like we want you to be part of this. So if you've read this book and you have some strong opinions or you have some strong feelings towards talking to people about the book, please come and join us on the podcast. I think that's a great opportunity there.
So exciting for 2026. Book club's going to be in our future. Dear audience, stay tuned and look for suggestions, look for opportunities to vote on the choice, and even the opportunity to join in the discussion.
Yeah.
So that's what our exciting podcasting that we bring to you.
Yeah, I just realized I could use the poll feature on different social media sites. So yes, we will give you the opportunity to chime in with your input and really engage people. So so keep an eye out for that. Then you, like we've always said, if you want to join us, please jump, let us know, and we'll send you the invite and we'll make it happen. And then we can have a spirited discussion about the book and let people know how awesome, or I don't know. We'll see what everyone's opinions are.
Yeah, come join as we create this.
Yeah. So it's gonna be exciting. I'm glad that we're adding this into our repertoire of things. So Murphy, let's if for some reason, if someone is just joining us today and they haven't heard us talk about your book for the last I don't know, what, year now that we've been consistently been talking about it. I think it's been a little over a year, but give this to us as your concept and in a nutshell where you were planning on going with this book.
Well, when I joined the AV Life podcast, it was late 2020. And I had also started getting involved in the community of AV tweeps, joining what was happening with the community in what happened during COVID. So I began to reach out in ways that I had not done before because I was too busy doing my job. And one of the things that I did was join the AV Life. And I also began doing some writing for Rave Pubs. Thank you, Gary Kay and Steph Beckett. Thank you very much. And so I began writing articles for that website. And as I began, and when I was first talking with them about writing, I talked with Steph. I was like, well, if I do this, would I still have the rights? Could I use the articles myself that I'm creating for you? And she goes, well, what do you mean? She goes, please don't do it until they've been on our website for a while. I'm like, well, what if I wanted to make them into a book? And I was just talking about, writing for that web page, for that blog. And she's like, sure, you could make it into a book if you wanted to. And so I started writing and I did several. And after a while, I'm like, yeah, this would totally be a book. So I started writing articles, particularly about project management, because that's my specialty. And then over time, I realized some articles wouldn't do well for a blog post, but they could be pieced in to have the arc that would create what has become the AV Project Management Handbook. So I began, and then it started to form like clay with time, begins to spin into a beautiful work of art. At least that's what I'm calling it.
Well, it is. From what I've gotten through, it is a work of art. Before we started recording today, Murphy, it's great so far. It really is, and to see it come to fruition at this point, to see it in paper and everything like that, has been great. And even so, this is my opinion. This is a great book for the starter AV project manager and for the veteran. Like, so like it every place in between. As someone who's been doing AV projects myself for I'll say 10 years, because I really didn't do it in the first gig. So it's been about actually almost 11 years. About 11 years that I've been doing this sort of stuff. It's validation and it's the reminders. It's like it's great to have it as a quick reference source to be able to like kind of pull and get to. There was I showed, I'm not gonna give it away because it's in the book, but I showed you before we got started, there's a graph in here, and I was like, I wish I had this 11 years ago, because I would look at different plans and things like that, and I was confused. I was like, what does that mean?
Me
what
too.
does this mean? And like, if I had this, like, I would have, that would have been great. Like, it would have been awesome.
Well, in addition, okay, I actually paid for Avixa, those things. That's intellectual property, so I paid some money for that. I didn't just, scrape them. I paid for them. I have the rights to it. So, when I put them on there, I selected a few. So when and in that particular chapter, that's the chapter on CAD drawings. So I say, when you're a project manager, get that CAD drawing started up right away, because there's a delay. You have to get it. You got to work with the CAD drawer, the CAD person, the CAD specialty has their own schedule of when they're available to do it. And you also have to give that stuff early on to the people doing the trades. If there's millwork, if there's carpentry, if all the electricians, etc., that are using the drawings that are what the CAD drawings are. And when we, as the project manager, and all of the different trades, all the different people working, the stakeholders working on the project, they're going to look at those drawings. And if I know what those little symbols are, I can speak to them as the project manager much more effectively. And when I first got these, I'm like, I hope I'm not missing something, because there's a whole bunch that I don't know. Many of those blueprints have a legend, and they'll say what it is. Oftentimes those legends don't have the AV stuff, because anybody who's worked on an AV project, know that AV, Jai, isn't this right? AV ends up being the last thought. Like, oh, we know about the electricians. Oh yeah, we're going to make sure to tell the carpenters. We're going to tell the plumbing, but AV, they're like, what? So the official ones, there's going to be some. What I wanted to say is, just knowing that there are meanings for those that can be discovered. Even I could ask the people, hey, what is that? The person drawing the CAD likely knows. So I can say, hey, what's that? And that person, keep friendly with these people. They're very busy. Say, hey, here's the coffee. Can you tell me what that funny little picture is?
It's like you need you need like a Rosetta Stone, like you're translating like the
right,
the Ark of the Covenant, like the hieroglyphs on the side or something.
Right.
But yeah, I think, don't be afraid to ask questions. I think that's a big piece, because we all manager. Right, exactly. Especially because you're even to like this day, and like switching from Rutgers New Brunswick to Rutgers Newark, like, even though they're still Rutgers, there's different things about my new location that I need to know. And I have to add, it's like I'm almost starting over in a way, because where I knew policies, procedures, and all that stuff, like to manage my projects in New Brunswick, there are new people, new ways of doing things. And, so it's learning that all over again. This last year, I've asked more questions than I think I have in the last 10 years that I was at my previous job, just because, and it's a small team. So the other part was, like, I had veteran workers that I came in to work with who had already been with the university for quite a number of years. So I was able to learn from them directly. Whereas here, it's me with a very young team. And we're all.
You're the senior one. You're like,
I'm the senior, but not senior.
What do you
one.
think, guys? They're like, you're supposed to know.
So,
Like,
so
okay.
yeah. So, but yeah, ask questions like this. So yeah.
Yeah, I also want to add, I look at the book as well, so that drawing is very important. Yes, I'm glad you brought it up, drawing. So, because more of the time the designer is not able to communicate with anyone, right? So the only way I told my team is, the only way can represent your work is the drawings, right? So that to put the right energy, and also to kind of using the standard like from AVIXA, so that also I told my team to using the national CAD standards, to kind of using those standard, right, to create a joint. This means something. So particular a lot of architect, we works together, we also follow the same standard, right? So that when we put everything together, so it's not only to kind of communicate how the design work out for the space, but also to create the reputation, right? So that I remember when our team first started, right, so work with the architect within the campus, they do not know us, right? So they do not they thought that we just like some of the group, right? The customer they worked at before, they just hand sketching, put it together, right? But right now, we're using the CAD standard, we're using the CAD tools, right? So that this is the same language they're using, is build up the connection, right? They more trust us what we need to do. I think there's a good collaboration. So the CAD is not only the tools to kind of to just doing the work, but also is the way how you can communicate with different trades. So I think this is very important. Yeah.
I agree. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Yes, communicating with the trades, because we have our specialty as AV people. The electrician has his specialty. The HVAC has their specialty. All these things, and who knows when another specialty is going to come and get involved at some point? What if you have like something else pops in and is now standard that you always have to have some new thing because technology, right? But my friends, we're not going to be in our positions forever. Tim, you came and you were great at the Rutgers, that you were there for so long, and then you went into a new position, and now you are the guy who is most senior, right? Or you're the guy in charge, right?
I am.
Well, what if you did the work and created a lovely set of organizations, and you documented perfectly everything in the previous position that you had? But what if you invented little symbols for stuff?
Oh, that would
be a problem, because new guy would be like, I'm not exactly sure what this is.
What's this squiggly line with a half circle mean?
Right.
It's like, well,
and what if we all get, there's three options. We stay exactly where we are, never go anywhere, and we get kind of bored and snarky. Another option is we get promoted and we do things, and we get promoted up and away from the stuff that we created. And that stuff needs to be robust so that it can be handed off to future generations, written on tablets of stone. Thou shalt not electrocute thyself, etc. Right? And another third opportunity is, we our investments pay off, and we just retire and join the circus. All three of which are things that could happen, right? So for those things, use the standards. Use the standards, and they exist. They exist. AVIXA created, thank you, AVIXA. They created audio, video, pictures, little symbols that can be used. So, and if you get a crabby, and I certainly have had the crabby tradesperson, be like, and they want to do a thing, and like, and they're trying to tell me I'm doing something all wrong. I'm like, well, let's look at this thing that I did not invent. That's a standard in CAD. This is what it is. Do this thing, And yes, we need a quad, not a duplex, or whatever it is that needs to happen. So it saves us. It helps everybody, and we don't have to invent work.
Agreed. Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine.
One thing in the book. Yeah.
Imagine. I can't even imagine what sort of crazy stuff would come out of my brain if I had to come up with my own symbols and stuff like that. Like I drive everybody nuts. yeah, and those standards, like, so, and for those who have taken the CTS and things like that, like those standards are like the Avixa standards are actually a mix of other standards. So like I believe there's some IEEE in there, like there's, other ones. So it's not just Avixa saying these are the things we need to do. It is all these other very reputable organizations that are also saying this is the way we need to do things. And it's from decades of experience. So like it's a good resource and a good way to follow, so because it's the same thing with like I think you even said like it's the same thing with architects. Like they have a certain set of symbols that they're supposed to use for different things. Like you can't do a different drawing for a door than what the door actually is supposed to look like in a CAD drawing. Like
right. And then there's certain symbols that say, oh, the door opens this way, and or it's not clear that all these things are right and true. They're developed.
So, so that's why you stick with the standards and document things.
So if I could like launch a little bit off that CAD part. So
go ahead. Yep.
I have this careful table of contents, right? And when I wrote the book, I was thinking in terms of what am I as a project manager going to encounter first? First thing is time. All of these things have to fit in together so that we can arrive at the project to be done at the time it needs to be done. Because sometimes there's very hard deadlines. Sometimes it can wander off into the distance, time. But time is really important. So as the reader, and you guys are my readers today and future readers, read through what is in here. I like telescope out each topic of what needs to happen. And there's a lot of detail that I share to help get each of those specific items done. Like when you're doing the CAD drawing, use these things. Once you realize, hey, the decision to make sure that we use the right symbols is already made, you don't think about it again. So when you're actually doing it, after one reads the book, gets the idea of all the different specific things that need to be handled throughout the course of a project, then it can happen quickly. That's what I'm trying to say is this goes into a lot of detail. This is an older cover, but it goes into a lot of detail about each part of the project. But knowing all the details that you have to do and have to touch on for each part allows it to happen quickly and be done thoroughly and confidently so you can get to the next part.
Right. Yeah.
And I say things like, here's how to write an agenda. Here's how to manage your bill of materials. Here's how to time these things. And here's the CAD and here's the programming.
That's literally where I was about to go, was to go into the meeting agenda. That was the next chapter for me. I was like, oh, great. So like meeting agenda. It's like, I like that because as one who is neurodiverse, agendas and outlines are important to me because otherwise you have what happens on this podcast essentially. we go here, there, and everywhere. And so agendas and like note taking and stuff like that is very central to me. So I was looking forward to that piece.
So agenda is definitely very important. So I try to practice more. So when I set up the meetings, right, the first one, everyone connected to Zoom or Teams or whatever, right, I would copy and paste the agenda when everyone ready, right? Then go through this. This is the agenda we're going to go through. So to kind of get everyone a proper expectation we're going to discuss, right? Also allow me to make sure that I hit all the points I need to talk, right? Because sometimes when one of the team members in the meeting, they're very opinionated, so they kind of occupy 15 minutes and then everyone lost, right? So that I'm going to, hey, maybe these things we need to circle back later, but let us go through the whole list so that then we can keep the ball moving. So with the agenda is definitely very helpful. Here's the thing, I just want to ask for you both too. So when you send a meeting agenda beforehand, how many people will read the agenda before the meeting?
That's a good question. I mean, I would maybe like 50% of people probably look at I'd think.
There's a couple things about the agenda. it's my habit. I don't know if I specifically put this in the book, but it's my habit to send the meeting invite with the agenda as an attachment. Sometimes the agenda is also pasted in, depending on if I know the audience, if they like attachments or if they can only see, because sometimes there's people outside of the company and they can't read an attachment anyway. So sometimes I'll paste it directly in, which is why keep it short. Don't have like a 3-page agenda. What are you doing? No, keep it super short, right? And many people, I invite all the people who need to know what's happening in the meeting, and they have the agenda to refer to so that they can know whether they need to join. So sometimes there might be an executive that has a conflict. They look at it and go, this is what we're talking. They go, actually, this particular meeting agenda doesn't touch on my stuff. I'm not going to go. Or they could say, I have a conflict, and they'll talk to someone else on the team and say, here's the part that I have. I can't go. Speak for me, and engage with the meeting that way. So the agenda really helps people, especially when they've got conflicts, to know even whether they should go. So then also you have the agenda, and you use that same agenda to create the action items. So people will go, oh, these are the action items for the next meeting. They'll go, okay, these are my action items. I'm supposed to get back. I send a thing at the end of the meeting. Here's the notes, and here are your action items, everybody. So everybody sees who has to do what.
Yeah.
And
I will say one of the newer features within Microsoft Office Outlook is the tentative but following, I think is the response, or or like declining but following. It's something like that. And what it's supposed to notify the meeting organizer that they're looking for notes and things like that afterwards. So it's a signal to say, okay, yeah, I can't be there, or I may not be there, but I am interested to know what's going on. So, if you have those tools at your disposal, please use them. And that way it makes everyone's lives a little bit easier. So I like that. I like that feature. It popped up, actually, I think it was right before I transitioned from New Brunswick to Newark. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, because it keeps you involved, at least to an extent, or it tells you that tells them that you want to be involved. It's not that you're declining or tentative because you're not interested. So, especially if it's an early stage meeting.
Now, as a tool, I do like to use, this works for me. All you PM people, all you stakeholders that are running meetings, figure out what works for you. But I do like the speech to text transcription. That's what I'm looking for. The transcription really helps me because I will really quickly read through and go, wait, did I capture everything? Because sometimes when a lot of conversation is going back and forth and I'm having to manage it all, I will read through that to make sure I captured what's needed. So I quickly skim it, and that can help if I have a question. So that's helpful. But that, and they also have, at the moment in Microsoft, there's Copilot that also kind of does their own notes.
Yep.
I would never use Copilot's notes alone. They're not sufficient. They are not organized. They're a start.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
They're a start. But for anyone that thinks that's sufficient, you're mistaken. So look again, find a better way. If you need another tool, okay, marry a tool. But that is not enough because it's too much fluff to give to the stakeholders to say, here's what happened in the meeting. You're like, that's way too much information. And when you give the wrong kind of information to stakeholders, they'll stop listening to the project manager because you're just this person that's like, bzz, bzz, bzz. So that's what the project manager has to add. Project management, I've said this before, is gathering the information, organizing the information, and disseminating the information to the people that need it. So don't, it is insufficient to rely on robots, rely on AI.
Yeah. Like we always say, like, it's a tool. Like, it doesn't do it all on its own. And Yeah, and I agree. I think the fluff is always there because it'll catch like every conversation, every side conversation that's happening. So you don't want to give the raw meeting feel to stakeholders. Like that's just not that's not okay.
Is that don't give the whole log file.
There you go.
Yeah, to summarize it and then to kind of extract the key point. So this is quite important. So that more of the time I'm trying to Murphy. Yeah, I'm very glad you talk about the summarizing information. So I do study architecture. So when I'm doing the scope, I do document numbers to put the numbers with the parentheses, just make everyone easy to read, right? So that when you add certain items, add numbers, blah blah blah, right? Remove number item, blah blah blah. Dude, because everyone is so busy, right? To have the way how to document things and do the notation to make everyone easy to catch. That's just very important. I saw that as some of the team members, they do like to document like the paragraph and then expect the people will follow it. This is really hard because the people need to scan through the whole thing, right? I like to using keynotes, right? So simple, straightforward, and then one sentence and then per items.
Right. So a wall of text is very off-putting. So when I talk about, I say, here's how you create an agenda, and I also have a part where I say, this is how you take notes. And for the project manager, the information when all this is flying around, how to gather the information from the meeting is to look for, what did I say? Look for any changes of scope. Look for any changes in responsibility. And changes in time.
So and actually that's a great segue because I did have a question from when I was reading here.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, so in my brain, you were using SOW and you're saying statement of work.
Yes.
That could be interchangeable with scope of work, right? Because that could be. Because I mean, in my now this could be
okay.
This could be my brain. This
Sure.
could be my brain not translating it properly in my head, but like SOW to me means scope of work. But I think it sounds like it's very similar.
Scope of work is a concept. Statement of work is a document.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay.
Because a statement of work is a thing that it's like written down, and I do say in there it's a legal document.
Yes, you do say it is a legal document in here because it's what it defines the project and it sets the parameters of the contract. So, like, yeah.
So to say the scope is like, does the scope include? Sometimes the scope will be verbally changed, and then I do say you need to update the SOW to include, like, someone says, and I do say there, like, hey, if they the sample project was one medium conference room, 2 huddle rooms, and 2 digital signage things. And I said, imagine that in one of the meetings, the customer says, I want to make one of those digital signage rooms have audio. So I wanted it to be an interactive one. And so that is in addition to the scope. So it wasn't, but then the customer can decide in the middle, like, hey, I want to have this extra thing. So then it has to be documented and the person has to sign it.
Right.
Say, yes, that happened. So the scope increased, and then it has to be documented to the statement of work in order for the project, and the project manager has to manage that so that they don't. And I do say they're like, hey, the people, when they're doing the installation, they love to do work, and the customer can do a drive-by and say, hey, can you hang another TV for me? And they're like, sure. Like, well, don't let them do it. Don't increase the scope.
That's where. Well, what do you think? Scope creep. That's it. Yeah.
Right.
Another thing in that same section, and this is, I will say this. This is just me coming at you from a I've never been a formally trained project manager. Level of effort.
Oh.
How would you explain that to somebody? Because that would be like, I mean, my brain goes to Deadpool, and it's maximum effort. It's like we can't always give
like
we can't go maximum effort all the time, because I feel like that you'll get burned out, and that's not good. But
okay, you have mostly been working inside of an organization as the AV person.
Yeah.
So when this book says it is from the perspective of an installer,
integrator, yeah, okay.
Sorry, an integrator.
Yeah.
So the integrator, the more organized integrators would say, this is the bill of materials. Level of effort is, we're going to allow 60 hours of this of the work. That's the level of effort. So level of effort, 60 hours in the work, 20 hours to the project manager, and some other thing. Like they will actually outline specific hours that that are from different specialists.
Yeah, and I've seen that. Now I understand. Yeah, because I've seen that on the contracts and bid materials and all that. Like it says like this is how much you're paying for the programmer. Like this is how many hours and how much you're paying for the programmer. How many hours, how much you're paying for like an installer. So yeah, okay. Now
they don't all have that, but they could. So that's
they could.
And maybe a level of effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do something similar to Murphy. Yeah, so right now I'm leading the teams to kind of do a lot of consultation, so that when we have a discovery with the client, so that we will go through the process to have a study the scope, right? After this, and then we will do the I call estimation to kind of capture what the effort from. We do have the technical designer. They do the line drawing, to do the system design, architectural drawing. I have the software developer to develop the program to drive the AV system, and then also I have project manager. So, and then also I have the network. Network is, even though the network coordination is a lot of hours, right? So we gotta get things work out, documented, and then do have the like the senior engineer. So everyone, I will kind of document how many hours, and also with the scope, right? So that there's kind of mirror. This is the scope. This is the hours that everyone can see. Then have the part and the cost, and then also to get the hardware as estimation. Then hopefully can kind of capture the high level effort, right? How to deliver the work. But this is also is always I communicate with my client, hey, this is only the estimation, because when you open up the wall, a lot of surprise you never see, right? So that hopefully every job will be smooth, right? But this is the best way we can capture the effort based on our best understanding.
From the perspective of when you're using staff, not vendors or contractors, it could be called like resource planning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That too. So that's the level
so,
of
effort. We kind of flexible.
Everybody working all the time.
I know, but here's the thing. Yeah, so I want to ask for your opinion. So that because I also want to develop staff, right? The knowledge. When every single job is kind of maxed out 100%, they have no free time to do cleanup and do learning, right? So, and unlearn, right? So sometimes, you learn so much, you need to unlearn to clean up your mindset, ready to take on something new, right? So that, what is your opinion about it? Yeah. So how you plan your labor hours?
That's a really important thing that I have at the end of the project. I specify you need to have a lessons learned. It is incredibly, incredibly helpful to have a lessons learned and a process to archive what happened in that project, so that you have that information both for maintenance and for using the information that you developed for a later project. Like, hey, say we want to do the exact same thing in the floor up. Okay. So you can just, just do it again, right? And then we have to rework anything. Or you could say, okay, we want to do that, but we want, this a little bit extra. So you can take that as a platform and rebuild it, even if it happened a year ago or 2 years ago. You have that to work on. So you have that archiving and have a robust process of archiving the information, so that information can be used and it's work that you can access again. But also that's like design work and tech. That's one part, but the work of having the team work together is really important for what you're talking about, how to estimate hours. When the team comes together at the end of the project and say, let's all talk about what just happened. And maybe it's boring. Great. It was easy. We all did our part. Thanks, guys. High fives. But if it didn't, really, there's always going to be some little thing. This is something that shows up in Agile as well. Agile framework, Scrum framework talks about how can we make each sprint or each project a little better? What would be more comfortable? So having everybody come together and say, hey, you know what? If you had just asked me, we could have made sure to have this device, or we would have been able to use the stuff we had in stock, or just talking about what happened in the project so that all the team can look at how it might have done better. Also, if you give a space where everybody knows that's the spot where you can air your grievances in a professional way, it really helps the team. So maybe one guy lost it and everybody knows it. And we all know, hey, if the project manager reliably has everyone together and say, how's it going? Everybody can know that that's their spot. They can let it out. They can tell the guy, and they can feel confident that this isn't just going to repeat and be a disaster going forward. So understanding what it took, how we might do a better job, whether that's realistic, can we do that again? And that gives us what, and oh yeah, that goes into the archiving file, into the project archive, so that we can have that information to make good estimates for what kind of work we're going to need in the future. Say, hey, did we guess right last time? Because when you make your level of effort for what hours you're going to use, it's a guess. Go, was that right? What are the things about this next project that we're trying to estimate the hours for? Is this going to be a rinse and repeat, or is this going to have special things where we might want to add or subtract hours?
Yeah, that's great points. And then also to kind of go through this lesson learned process, right? It's the data collections, basically, so that you go through multiple times, right? So that they help you to more understand how many hours, right? How long it's going to take, right? You cannot really guess every single time is correct, but at least give you the correct idea. So let's say when you're doing the classroom, right? You need 40 hours. So for this task, right? Then as you were not able to guess every single time is accurate, but at least to give you the numbers, you can even out, hey, when I have this, just using the average number, maybe 35, and then for me to estimate the effort, right? So, and then hopefully everyone will be more efficient, right? So that when you can finish the job earlier, so that you can get more profit. So
okay, sure. We all want to be more efficient, but also when it comes to dashboards, if you have this information, it's information gathering. When we have this information, we can start to look at variances.
That's true.
So we go, we always underestimate this. Or, you know what, you always say you're going to need more hours for CAD than you really do need. Stuff like that. So you can look at trends, because as you build this information and as you have it, you put it in your tool, whatever that tool will be, whether it be Smartsheets or Jira, two ends of the spectrum, right? You'll have that information. You can go, oh, let's review. And you can start making really good plans to be that lean machine.
Yeah, this part I'm still working on it to kind of capture the actual effort, right? So one of the problems is we're so dynamic. Yeah, so sometimes when you kept doing certain things, suddenly have a call and stop the flow, and then first, then we kind of miss out to capture how actual hours to spend to tackle on the problem. This is one of the bigger things I want to really figure out what kind of tools allow me to kind of capture the effort correctly, right? So that I can compare with the estimated effort and the actual effort. What is the difference? Then I can allow me to do calibration. Yeah. So when I in the architect firm, so that we're using the tools, the project manager kind of put you 300 hours, right? So that you keep doing the work, you log every single day how many hours you do, but we do not have such tools right now. So I cannot really I cannot really have a tools to evaluate the actual effort and then the budget the effort. Yeah, but I'm not stopped here. So, but this is one of the tasks I really want to figure out to be more effective.
It's a tough one. It's definitely something that many organizations realize there is value, and they also realize that a lot of people don't like doing it. It's a pain. They're like, I did the work. Why do I have to track it?
I think that is also to create a habit, right? So that when you do have a good organize your workflow, your work, your tasks, and then that is easier, right? So when you're so chaotic, right? So everything is happening, so you have no way to track your effort. And then one of the things from my team, Tony, so that he is really good to kind of create a folder structure to kind of organize all the file, what we need to be, because you don't want to, every single time you go to the folder, you don't know where's the file information you're looking at, right? So that to kind of create a structure, allow easy to access the information. I think go back to the point earlier, right? So that to kind of create a habit, right? How you document the estimated hours and how you can evaluate and capture actual hours you spend to deal with the problems, right? So that will be a very good practice, yeah. But we are not there yet. So to be honest, so as you mentioned, this is tough, yeah. To people already so focused on doing the work, right? So you ask for them to have the extra step. Hey, can you click to put how many hours? This is really tough, yeah. So for them,
it takes discipline, and that's part of what project managers do is manage all the people. Say, hey, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, and you know, I've definitely had. I have worked in places where I had to track the hours that I worked on different projects. And I got in the habit of marking down what I did in 15-minute increments. Which project I was working. Oh yeah. That's what you have to do if you're a lawyer too. So what that doesn't mean I go, oh, 15 minutes passed and I write it down. I go, wait, I look at what I've done and go, this was the chunk of time. And I could look and see, okay, I had to have the habit of when I switched, then I would mark it down. Like, okay, I'm working on this for a chunk of time. Okay, now I'm working on the next thing for a chunk of time. And then I would have blocks of time when I was working on like admin tasks for all projects. And I would have like that chunk that I would just divide anyway. But yeah. So yeah, it takes creating systems, and the project manager, when they're telling all the stakeholders, hey, mark down the time of what you did, they have to be on top of it like a task. I would have to be on top of it like a task to go, hey, and check every, probably weekly with people, go, hey, did you do the things? Mark it down. Go track your hours, time, filling out time cards. One of those things.
The disciplines, right? So that how to discipline the team to. I think that some of the feedback I learned from my management role, right? So the people thought that, hey, how come you need to track the micromanage, right? But actually, it's not about that. This is not the mindset to, hey, to kind of micromanage the people, how they do the work. But this is just the system, right? To justify the value and outputs for the work, right? So that I do not care, how you're going to use your 6 hours to do the work, right? I won't care about the 6 hours when we budget it. You can output as the way will work out professionally, right, to get a job done. So when I assign tasks, let's say 6 tasks, then you get everything will be hit to the 90% or 95%. That's amazing, right? So that then we don't need to go back to we work, and then also we capture this information, right? At the end, I can have a better evaluation. So, but also the discipline need to be the team collaborates together to kind of have the effort all together, because when one people do, when one person do in a team, but every other one is not doing this, that's going to destroy the purpose, right? So that to kind of encourage also to reinforce the people doing the collection. That's quite important. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be clear to the people doing the time tracking that it's in their interest.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that if a person tracks their time, then the management leadership can see, hey, this person is overutilized. Like, we're going to need to hire another person.
Right.
Or we need to give that person a break. They've got, it also allows for balancing. So maybe Jenny is working really hard, and maybe Judy is not working so hard. Maybe Judy wishes that Jenny wouldn't hog the best projects. These kind of things. Or you could say, well, Judy, what's wrong with you? You're not working very hard. Maybe Judy doesn't know how to write. And you mentioned neurodiversity before, Tim. Sure, you can call it that. Or it's just hard sometimes to ask for what you want and to figure out the balance, and people don't have attention. So these are some metrics that allow for management to take a look, and also allows for data to support requests. So Judy can say, Jenny's working really hard. Can I please have some of those cool projects? I know I don't have the expertise or the experience that she has, but I'd like to. Can you give me a chance? So you can start making some of these decisions. People can ask for stuff, and yeah, maybe sometimes there is another person who is not working very hard. It gives information to make good decisions for the business.
Yeah, and I mean, I think something to keep in mind, and just it kind of goes back. I think she had said about that it's good practice. I mean, this is a practice. Like we're constantly learning, we're constantly making ourselves better, and it's like that's even like if you think about it, like from a non-AV perspective, pro athletes still need the practice. Like so to stay on top of our game, we still need the practice. So having a reference at hand like this is good practice to have it there.
I'm wearing a Asian jacket. You can't really see it, but there's like a dragon on here because I was like, hey, this is kind of reminiscent of my martial arts practice.
Okay.
And you got to get the reps. You have to do the repetitions to get good at managing a project.
And maybe you do have that one project manager who's not getting the projects. Well, they're not getting the practice then. So, as a manager of project managers, you should be able to notice that too, or be able to, look at the like you're saying, the time that they're all being allotted for their projects. It's like, okay, maybe we'll give, I don't remember who we were talking about, Jane or Jenny or whoever.
All of them. Judy, Jenny, Jill.
Whoever. Just evenly distribute the projects and, based on experience and based on who needs to be where, but everyone needs the practice. So,
and also if Judy gets promoted or leaves, you go, okay, how are we going to handle this? So that there's information for management, for executives to be able to do it.
Exactly.
So, oh my gosh, you guys, we've been talking for almost an hour.
I know.
Awesome. I want to make sure we cover whatever needs to happen next.
So folks, this is a testament to this book. The Murphy has done an amazing job with it. We are looking forward to the official release, and keep an eye out or an ear out, as I think there's other plans in the works for Murphy. So I'm excited to see how your tour goes for this book.
Yes. Right. So the book is not available for sale yet, and that sorry guys. I will put it out there. I will announce when it is available for sale. You can reach out to me directly on Written by Murphy if you'd like to know more about it. If you, I will definitely have it out before InfoComm. And if after listening to this episode, you are dying to talk to me and find out more about it, reach out to me directly. I'd also like to reach out to a number of other AV podcasts and information spots, watering holes, to discuss it and look for the final version. It's super close. I got a couple, typos to fix and a few more things to put on the cover, but it is a work of love, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with all interested parties.
Well, everybody should be interested. So we wish you great success with this, Murphy. I think it's going to be well received by the industry, and we're looking forward to seeing it out there. Chi, thanks for jumping in here and joining us here tonight. Your input is always welcome and appreciated, and it was you did a great job tonight, sir. So thank you.
Yes, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this was a really great conversation. So,
Yeah,
and it is also very important too, right? A lot of people do not realize how important to have a project manager to kind of orchestrate everyone, right? So to make the project moving forward. Great conversation.
Mm-hmm. It was like we had.
Also, I want to buy this book too. Yeah. So when this book is available, I definitely going to buy it. Yeah. So I'm very excited.
I will happily take your money. I give you the book.
Take my money.
Right.
Well, we had a 60-minute PM minute. So it's
a PM hour.
PM hour. There you go. Power hour of PM minute or no, project manager PM out. Yeah, never mind. I'm overthinking it.
Workshopping it.
Yeah. So folks, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with our not normal, but our usual antics and fun times. And thanks for listening. And as always, until our next adventure.